When trying to achieve a scoring milestone like breaking 90, it's important to understand what does it actually take to do that. And today we're going to dive into that in terms of the performance metrics that the average golfer that breaks 90 needs in terms of greens and reg, putts per round. Let's go. G'day guys, Mike Beery here. Welcome back to another video. We are here at 8 Under, and you might see a couple of construction guys kind of walking in and out today. They are replacing all the turf hitting areas just to make sure that we keep this place absolutely spot on for everybody that comes in. If you are new to the channel, then welcome. And if you could do me a massive favor, hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the new content. Notification bell, that'll help with that as well. And if you are returning, thanks for tuning in to this video. It's time to dive into how to break 90 by the numbers. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen me post many times before how to break 100, how to break 90, how to break 80, how to break par. I break it down by greens and regulation, putts per round, double bogeys, all that sort of thing. This generally comes with like a love-hate situation. A lot of you guys, in fact, most of you love it and appreciate the information. And there's always some comments of people, well, let's actually look at some here. So this post here back in January, obviously a lot of people liked it. Here's a quick look at the insights. I mean, 33,000 likes. It was shared 33,000 times, 17,000 saves. So certainly something that you guys liked. Let me go back to some of the comments here and we'll see if we can pull something up pretty quickly. Okay, here's one of the comments that I hear pretty regularly. How to break 70. Basically, just take less than 70 shots. That's the advice you've given. And I'm not going to censor out like the handles of these people. If you posted it, you can own it. Okay, here's another one. Gee, thanks. I was missing the greens on purpose. Great advice. Another one here. This is, I like this one for sure. Thanks, Dr. Golf. And another one here. So basically make less mistakes and shoot lower scores. Ridiculous, mind-numbing post. So my goal with these types of posts, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on YouTube, it doesn't really matter. My goal is to inform you of what it takes statistically to break 90 in terms of how many greens in reg we need to hit, how many putts per round. So you can look at it and take kind of a deep dive into your game. You're gonna have to do a little bit of self-analyzing here. Okay, if I'm supposed to hit generally these number of greens, am I there? Am I hitting more than that or am I hitting less? Putts per round, am I hitting more or less, or am I making too many double bogeys? And this allows you to start to look further and investigate into your own game and say, okay, well, I'm kind of there in a lot of parts where I need to be to break 90, but I'm not doing it yet because this area needs improvement. Let's say, for example, you're having too many putts per round. You can start to look at it and go, okay, why am I having too many putts per round? Is it because I'm too far away from the hole? Or is it because my lag putting is not good enough? Or my short putting is not good enough? Maybe it's a fact that you just don't practice your putting and it's time to start doing that. So the average break 90 golfer needs to hit about 2 greens in regulation per round. Now, a green in regulation is when you're on the green and you're putting for birdie or less. So for example, on a par 3, you're on the green in 1, on a par 4, you're on the green in 2 or less. Yeah, par 4s can be drivable. And if you're on a par 5, then it would be being on the green in 3 or less. Putts per round is another stat that we're going to look at. And obviously there's 18 holes. If you 2-putted every hole, that's 36 putts. You don't need me to do the math for you. But what you do need to know is for a break 90 golfer, we're looking for 34 putts or less per round. Now, if you're a break 90 golfer, you're probably going to have some double bogeys, maybe worse. You've got to eliminate the worst. You've got to eliminate the triples and the quads for sure. But we do need you to try and limit those doubles. We know you're going to have some, but we're going to let you have just 3. Quick disclaimer here on the double bogeys too. We're going to assume that you got on the green and you 2-putted. They were not 1-putt double bogeys. So let's say if you did what I just said, right? There's 18 holes. We hit 2 greens in regulation. So let's just say we 2-putted those. 2 pars, happy days. There's 16 other holes that we did not hit the green on. And let's just say you chipped on and you 2-putted those, right? That would be 16 over. But the one thing that we did have here is 3 double bogeys. So 3 of those holes, we didn't bogey them, we doubled them. That takes us back to 19 over. And this is gonna be on a par 72. So in order to get us down to where we're breaking 90, we need to be at 17 over. That's where the 2 other 1-putts come into play. So there'd be 2 other holes that we chipped on, we 1-putted, and we got up and down for par. Now, if you didn't hit 2 greens in regulation, let's just say you hit 1 green, you're gonna need to have 1 less putt. So one of those other greens that you missed, you're gonna need to chip on 1 putt to get your par that's going to bring your putts per round down to 33. Let's say it was one of those days where we had a couple more doubles on what we're looking for, right? Instead of 3 max, we had 5 doubles. That's another 2 shots. We've got to figure out somewhere else that we need to reduce, okay? So we're either going to have to hit 2 more greens in regulation. That means those 2 holes we don't have to chip on, and we're 2 putting for par. That would be happy days. If it's a day where we couldn't get those greens in regulation, but we were chipping a little better, chipping a little close to the hole, we would need to have 2 less putts. So instead of 34 putts, those putts per round are going to have to come down to 32. So yes, it really is a numbers game, right? Like the more greens we hit, there's a little bit more room, you know, for some other mistakes, let's call it, if we're trying to break 90. But if we're really trying to capitalize here, then if you're hitting more greens in regulation, you should be getting lower than that 89. We should be starting to get towards those mid 80s. So here's another way to break 90, right? And I think that this golfer is not maximizing their potential, right? This golfer is going to hit a lot of greens, but they're going to have a lot of putts. So this golfer hits 6 greens in regulation, 6 greens out of 18. That's really good. That's kind of a 1 in 3. Problem is though, they had 38 putts. They're sticking to the 3 doubles, so you know, no big issue on that. Always trying to reduce the number of doubles, but 3 is okay. And so this golfer shoots 89 on a par 72. Now, if you're hitting 6 greens in regulation, that tells me that you're pretty good. You've spent some time, you go to the range and you practice. But your 38 putts, that tells us that the putting aspect is not where it should be relative to the ball striking ability. So I would say that somebody that can hit 6 greens should be able to get in the 33 putts around range. And if you're not, you need to identify why. Is it because I'm not practicing it enough? Is it because my lag putting is not good enough? Or am I missing all the short ones? Once you've identified that issue, you can either jump out and go practice. You can download one of my ebooks, which, you know, head over to my store and do that. That's a great way to get some drills. Or you can go take a lesson. Also, guys, on that note, link down below, my ebooks are available. There's chipping, there's putting, there's skill drills. Please go check them out. Do yourself a favor. Those will definitely help your game get those scores lower. Let's run some hypotheticals on this 6 green in regulation golfer, right? If they do everything that we just said, they shoot 89, and hey, good job. You broke 90. That's awesome. But I think you had a little bit of a better score potentially in you on that one. Now imagine if this 6 green in regulation golfer, instead of having 38 putts, they had 33 putts. And instead of having 3 doubles, they had 0 doubles. That's one heck of a round. So with the 6 greens in reg, let's just say they 2-putt all of those. Those are 6 pars, 12 other holes where they didn't hit the green in regulation. If they just chipped on and 2-putted every one of those holes, that's 12 over. But in this case, we had 33 putts. So those are 3 1-putt holes. So instead of 12 over, this golfer shoots 9 over. They shoot 81. Now let's say that no double bogeys is a little too difficult, a little unrealistic maybe for this golfer. Let's say they had 3. That puts them back at 84. I mean, that's 84 shots versus 89. Again, 89 good, we broke 90, but 84, we're getting closer. This golfer is getting closer to the potential to break 80. Let's look at another scenario, okay? This golfer hits 3 greens in regulation, they have 36 putts. Okay, so we're good on the greens. We're slightly above what I said in terms of 2, but we had 36 putts. So maybe a couple too many putts. But instead of having 3 double bogeys, this golfer has 6 double bogeys. So let's look at it the same way, right? We hit 3 greens in regulation, meaning we missed 15. So that's 15 bogeys right there because we had no 1 putts, or on average, we had 36 putts. But the problem was we had 6 double bogeys. So that's 6 extra shots more than bogey. So that's going to put us at 21 over. That's 93. So this would be an example of a golfer that's close, right? We're there on greens in regulation, we're close on putting, but the doubles are hurting us too much. So that would be an opportunity for this golfer to look into the fact of, why am I having so many double bogeys? It could be a strategy issue. They could be too aggressive. There might be a par 5 that they're going for and hitting it into the water or hitting it into the trees. It could be something as simple as missing greens with wedge shots, having to chip twice. This takes us back to the earlier comment of there's so many different ways and there's so many different parts of the game that can be affecting your score. You can be there in some aspects and not other parts. So the Instagram posts, I can't go into all of that detail in one single screenshot. So all of those that beat me up in the comments, that's fine, so be it. But all of those that do get it and are taking more of a look at your game, then I applaud you and well done. I hope knowing the numbers for you now, it's a little more kind of obvious or a little more clear on the direction that you need to go with your game. And you might look at it and go, actually, you know, that's not as hard as I thought it might be. Well, I hope there's a little more clarity in terms of what you need to do with your game, or at least starting that kind of investigative process. Please do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, and leave me a comment down below with the scoring milestone that you're trying to break. Also, all of 8Under's info is down below, so please check us out and come visit us here. And of course, until next time, good golfing.